New information on Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era has arrived, and with it a new video analysis. My name is Saviour, and I welcome you to the channel. In this video, we will be analyzing the hero Faleor and the Sylvan faction. A few days ago, I opened a poll for a new video on the channel, and the options are Heroes 2, Diplomacy, Good or Bad, or Heroes 2, Auto Combat versus Manual Combat. Also, if you are a fan of the entire Heroes saga, in the top info cards I will leave you the quick guide to all the Heroes 2 factions. Like Gru, Faleor is a new hero in the Heroes of Might and Magic saga. Faleor belongs to the Sylvan faction and is a Warden class. This means he is aligned with Might, so when Faleor levels up, his primary skills will increase, primarily in attack and defense. Now let's focus on Faleor's specialization. It says starts with the Masterful Fireball spell. This version of the spell hits a bigger area. While casting this spell, the effective spell power is increased by 1 for every 3 levels. This ability will sound familiar to all Heroes 3 fans, right? Now let's see which heroes have a similar ability to understand Faleor's potential. Unfortunately, looking at all the information on social media, there's no specific information on the Masterful Fireball spell, but it's obviously the stronger version of Fireball. Just like the Inferno spell is the upgraded version of Fireball in Heroes 3. So it's easy to assume that Masterful Fireball is a similar spell to the Inferno spell. We have 2 heroes who start with Inferno in Heroes 3, Siron and Adriane. Siron starts with the powerful level 4 spell, Inferno. He belongs to the Inferno faction and the Heretic class. He is aligned with magic, which is a huge advantage given that leveling up will improve his primary skills, primarily in spell power and knowledge. However, he has a major problem. He can't cast the Inferno spell because he doesn't have enough spell points, which prevents him from winning battles quickly. Another problem is his secondary skill Scholar, which is poor. This leaves Siron as a mediocre hero. But Adriane is different. She also starts with the Inferno spells. She belongs to the Fortress faction and is a witch class. So, as she levels up, she primarily increases her primary skills, spell power, and knowledge. However, she starts with 20 spell points, which allows her to cast the Inferno spell from the start. Additionally, her specialization increases the damage of fire spells by 50%. This allows her to achieve quick wins and gain an economic advantage. In addition to all that, her 2 secondary skills are good for her: Wisdom to learn powerful spells and Fire magic to increase the damage of the Inferno spell. All of this makes Adriane a great hero, but will Faleor be at her level? Let's find out. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. As I mentioned before, Faleor is aligned with might and will primarily boost his attack and defense stats. This doesn't help boost his specialization. For him to be a powerful hero, he will need 2 good secondary skills or enough spell points to cast Masterful Fireball from the start. Only then do I think he could compete with Adriane in terms of power. In conclusion, I find it difficult for Faleor to be a tier S hero in Olden Era. He could be a good hero with just the 2 conditions mentioned above. I think he will be a more powerful hero than Siron, but less powerful than Adriane. Now we are going to review the highlights of the latest Sylvan faction trailer. But first, if you like my content, leave a like and subscribe, so I can continue to do more analysis of the Heroes of Might and Magic saga. Also, this Black Dragon from Heroes 4 is very sad because Olden Era isn't inspired by his game. Let's cheer him up by subscribing. Well, the trailer starts with a town screen of the Sylvan faction, and I really like it. Now we see several heroes from the faction, and we see Halon, a hero familiar to all fans of the saga. He appeared in Heroes 2 and 3. Perhaps I will make a video about him in the future. I hope it's better than its previous versions, haha. We also have some images of the map. And now we come to the Sylvan faction units. The level 1 unit is the Fawn, and it has 2 upgraded forms, the Fawn Archer and the Fawn Warrior. Obviously, the Fawn Warrior has higher attack and defense than the ranged unit. The level 2 unit is the Haplet, and it has 2 upgraded form variants. They remind me of the sprites in Heroes 2 and 3. They have low defense. Vine Iriad is the level 3 unit, along with its 2 upgraded forms. It's definitely a war tank, with high health, attack and defense stats, but it's very slow, so it might be better for castle defense. Aqualot is the level 4 unit, with a design similar to an elemental. It's a ranged unit with more attack than defense, and its health isn't very high. I like that the Sylvan unit already has at least 2 ranged units. Herbomancer and its 2 upgraded forms are level 5 units. They remind me of the druids from Heroes 5. They have good stats, especially Sporemancer, who has good attack and defense compared to Murmurmancer. Killin and its other 2 forms are the faction's level 6 unit. Once again, the design resembles elementals, and I like it. They are like a replacement for the unicorns in Heroes 2 and 3. Being flying units, I think the faction is stronger. They also have a lot of health, attack and defense, especially the Mist Killin. The level 7 unit is the Phoenix, one of my favorites in the entire saga. In its base form, it reminds me of the Birds of Paradise from MTG. Unfortunately, we don't have its base stats. We do have its 2 upgraded forms, and I think they are both very good. I'm surprised by their high health. Phoenixes don't normally have many hit points. The Flaming Phoenix also seems to be a more aggressive unit. Now we see the images of a siege. I'm struck by the size of the castle courtyard. It's much larger than in Heroes 2 and 3. Who does this favor? Attacker or defender? What do you think? Besides, what's surrounding the castle is a kind of defense, right? A kind of landmine from Heroes 3. Now we look at the abilities of all the units in the Sylvan faction. Most of these abilities are focused on increasing their speed, initiative, hit point, and other stats. Others decrease some stat of an enemy troop. 2 abilities stand out above all others. The Murmurmancer's ability, which as far as I understand, allows you to use the spellbook 1 additional time that round. I think it's incredibly good. That was to be expected since its stats are worse than the Sporemancer's. But this ability makes up for it. And finally, the Energy Phoenix's Supernova ability deals massive damage within 2 hexes, which is quite a lot. And from what I understand, it casts burns, which is moderate additional damage every round. Those who have ever played a Pokemon game will be familiar with this. I think it's a very well designed faction, and it remains to be seen if it's also balanced. I think I'm going to miss my elves, but I understand that from the lore. The faction has ranged, melee and flying units, so I think I quite like the faction. Well, if you liked this review, leave your like, comment and subscribe in order to upload more analysis of other heroes and creatures. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.